Me happy. G'day guys. Alright. The sun's just dipped a little bit, which is so lovely for me because it was an absolute scorcher before. So now we can relax. And I'm incredibly lucky to have you in the most gorgeous part of the evening. We've got the sun just going down, which is wild because it's 8 p.m. here. 8 p.m. And I don't know if we'll have enough time to add a lot of paint, but we've got a little bit of time to add a little bit of paint. And I'm happy with that. Right. In between where I was before, we cleaned the plate off a little bit. So now we can get some fresh color out. And I think easiest thing to start on, it's gonna sound pretty basic. You won't normally hear it from me, but that's what we're gonna do. Blue for the sky. Keep it simple, keep it super simple. Here we go. A little bit of white in there too, so it doesn't get too strong. And then, this is gum arabic. I love this stuff. Just a little bit of that to make it run a little bit better. And then, a little bit of this one. Chemicals, chemicals, chemicals. This isn't actually a chemical, this is natural. But there's this thing called surface tension. You know when you put paint or water on a really glossy surface and it tries to separate into droplets? Usually that's because the surface tensions don't actually match. So if you want to fix that, you need to actually up the surface tension of one or reduce it. Now, in the case of this, the gum arabic mixed with the water-based gouache paint, when I go to add that to this surface, it'll try and change into droplets. So, to fix that, I add a bit of that natural medium in there which stops that from happening. You're always trying to make sure your surface tensions match. Glad I could share that little bit of info with you. There we go. Hello. Cheers BGB, welcome on in. And if you were here previously and I bailed on you, I am so very sorry. I had to. It was so hot out though, guys. I cannot explain to you how much of a scorcher of a day it was. And I just had to go inside and just breathe it off for a little bit because my yard above, I've never been hit with heat that intense. That's a lie, all the time. But like, it was just too intense for the paint to actually move. It was drying before the brush could even properly touch the surface, so. Get that down through there, there we go. There we go. Just like that. Beautiful. If it makes you happy, well, it can't be that bad. Yeah. A little bit more of this. Mix that in there. Lovely. This is the most beautiful, beautiful time of the evening. Absolute honor to be out at this time. At this time, the light is the most diffused that it will be at any stage. At this point, we get the best lighting, even though it comes towards the tail end. There's 2 times in the day. There's first thing in the morning, and there's last thing in the evening. Right after sunrise, and right before sunset. Those are our 2 key ones. And you'll hear the birds gently and slowly making their last few songs before they go to bed for the evening. Let's put that there. Now I should mention as well, I've got a mic that I'm supposed to be getting working. Fair enough. And I haven't yet. I'm sorry. it's charged, and it's a very simple process. I just keep getting distracted by little things. In this case, getting this new surface of all things. Now, one really exciting thing as well is I was talking to a collector, great guy, and he's all the way in Hong Kong, and I've been thinking about my project with him, just milling it over. We've gone through a whole bunch of photos, and we're looking at about a short list of, well, there's about 14 photos, and we're looking at about 2 of them. 2 of them really tick a few boxes. And then of those 2, I think I want to let it sit for a moment, but I really was looking at one of them, which I think we're going down the route of. It's a beautiful picture of Hong Kong with boats and hello Lambert, Adam Lambert, congratulations in American Idol, or is it? I forget what it's called. What was I saying? Oh, beautiful picture, and quite unorthodox actually, all things considered, of a Hong Kong skyline. It's actually boats, which is not the first thing that'll come into your head when you think of a Hong Kong skyline, which the sky's there, but the boats kind of form what you'd usually expect skyscrapers to do. I was quite enamored by it, I'll be fully honest with you. I was quite enamored by it. I thought, out of all the pictures, I was like, this is going somewhere special. And we didn't leap into it, we're just waiting for a moment longer to see how our thoughts settle. But chances are, if our thoughts actually settle on that one, it'll be a pretty fun work to make. Really high contrast, so that'll be an interesting factor to play with. The boats really stand out. The sun's very obvious. I think the first thing we'll do is we will create a very smooth gradient in the background to really capture that sunset. Set a stage of sunset, not this one in particular, but usually we are doing a sort of sunset stage. I love that you see it from scratch and then bring it all together. Look, BGB, I know you've been here for a lot of them, but at the moment this is just a mess, and it may reveal itself or it might stay a mess. Like, we don't always need a picture. Sometimes a mess is okay. And sometimes we leave them as a mess, and you'll know this, for just weeks, months, and sometimes even years, and we come back to them and take them to the next stage. But look, this is a fun one. This is a little one. I wanted to play with the surface. I wanted to play with the new kind of paints, and I wanted to do it before I continued on the commission piece of Pennsylvania that we're working on, and the other piece, the Hong Kong skyline. Now we're going to get both those 2 started and/or finished before Christmas, but Hong Kong might take a little bit longer because we want to completely finish Pennsylvania to turn our mind completely at the Hong Kong work and continue on from there. Now, if it makes you happy, can't be that bad. What's that colour through there? We're going to get green. Simple set. I love it already. Cheers from New Zealand. Hey Cindy, thank you very much. So we're in the Bay of Plenty at the moment, and this is the best time. I came out a little bit early before, and the sun was just too intense, way too intense. So the plan with this piece here, this is going to be the horizon line through, well, not horizon line, but end of the garden here, sky up here. There'll be a little bit of a garden path, and it's a bit thin through here at the moment because I'm going to add some rocks and plants in. But at the moment, we're just going for coverage because this kind of paint needs to make sure it gets that full matte layer on top to make sure the next coat really grips in. There we go, hello. Just like that, full coverage. This is a very, very poppy colour. You sneak around the back there. If it makes you happy, can't be that bad, yeah. It makes you happy. There we go, just like that. Can't be that bad, yeah. Makes you happy. That song's stuck in my head too. Do. There we go. Perfect. And always peace. Well, I'm glad you're always at peace. Proud of you for that. It's not easy to always be at peace. Alright. Next colour up. This is... I'm just going to call it blue, but it's got a very, very long word there. My eyes aren't good enough. I'm going to make an embarrassment if I try and pronounce this. There he is. Hope you're great. How's the fam? Jim. First off, hello. Hope you're well. Hope you're healthy. Hope you're happy. Second off, fantastic. Little Cooper, my darling little daughter, is the most gorgeous thing on the face of this planet. I had the best moment, and I want to tell you this, the best moment of my life, without a doubt. And I know I don't normally declare this, but I mean, honestly, it was. What happened was she started mimicking behavior. So I was going like this to her, and then she started doing it back, and it melted my heart. So honestly, it was an absolute game changer. Yes, that's her name. So my daughter's called Cooper, and she just laughs and smiles every single day. Absolute joy. So she's asleep right now. But I'd bring her into the stream, possibly. But the problem is, apparently you're not allowed. Guidelines. No go. You're allowed to have them in reels, but not on lives. Who knew? You guys do now. Everyone knows that now. Now that we vocalize that. If it makes you happy, can't be that bad, yeah. Makes you happy. Yeah, just beautiful. I'll just get that through. Yeah. Look at that finished stroke. Look at these lines here. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Yeah, just like that. A bit more. I'm not abandoning you. I'm going to come on back. In just a moment. There we go. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Sorry. Tricky TikTok. Fair enough. And cheers, Vernon. I have a little bit of patience, so tune in. Oh, I missed that. Hold on. I have a little bit of patience, so tune in for a few minutes when you're live. Incredibly talented, mate. Oh, thanks, Benji. Appreciate you, mate. And welcome on in, Jay. Sorry for disappearing on you before. It was just simply too hot. This brush is too big. Too big, too fat. I need something more fine. This is the one. Didn't wash it properly. Can't use that. There we go. There's the nice soft bristles that I'm after. All right, let's get some rocks in here. Now, if we can't get it done tonight as well, it's not the end of the world. We'll come back with the morning sun. Continue. If it makes you happy. Oh my God, Sid, come on. Get it out of your head, mate. Can't be that bad. He's a very supportive partner, to be fair. Do we know what makes him happy? Is it gaming or is he doing something a bit more naughty? Seb, do you remember painting a flamingo? I do. I've still got that surfboard actually. I'm playing around with the colours and the style of it. And it actually needs a bit more love on it. That's why it never got released. But yeah, I do. Short answer, yes. I brought acrylic paint. When I opened up the packet, it was watercolor. I was very angry. I feel like I'm reading reviews on Amazon Paints. That's terrible. I'm sorry for you. I wish they hadn't done that. The fact that they did, I find very concerning. But look, it happens. Nothing wrong with watercolor paints either. Nothing wrong with watercolor paints. I never use them, but there's nothing wrong with them. You just have to follow more of a exact guideline. I like going from dark back to light into dark back to light, and if you try and do that with watercolors, you get porridge. It all just blends together. It's less fun. And if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. You saw me on the news a few days ago. Are you an Australian? If you are, you probably did. Probably did. I was there with Larry, and I forget the lady's name. She was lovely though. They were both amazing. Key points there though, guys. The key takeaways. Art's supposed to be fun, and just start a little bit wild and crazy. Don't try to get the whole structure down and overthink everything. At the start, you just need to, I don't mean to be cheesy here, but emotionally release yourself. And if you do that, then you'll allow the work to have some flavor and personality. You start the work etching away gently like this, trying to build, and you're wondering why there's no character or flavor or personality in the work. That comes from the very first strokes. Get in there with energy. Build something meaningful, powerful. Too often we just get locked up in our own insecurities and feelings that we stop ourselves from ever creating a stroke on the surface that actually can have a meaningful impact on someone. Because you can if you actually put real feeling behind what you're doing. Makes you happy. Can't be that bad, yeah. Makes you happy. That's what I'm after. This is gouache as well, so gouache is going to sit much more flat, which is exactly what I'm after. Can't be that bad, yeah. It's stuck in my head. There's nothing we can do. Absolutely gorgeous. And there's a bit more of these tendrils I want to add in here. Hold on one second. Just like that. These big tendrils coming down to this darker patch. And then I wasn't going to... do I add it in now? There's a big flax bush here and I want to make sure we give it the time of day it needs. But I don't want to overdo it into this grass patch before I've had a proper amount of time to play with it. Cool. Next thing I need, a bit of white into the blue. Pohutukawa painting. We did do a Pohutukawa painting, and I'm embarrassed to say I never made that one for sale. It's a beautiful young Pohutukawa and you're looking through it at Mount Tarawera, which is a mountain. You might have heard of the Tarawera eruption, and it's looking through, and it's called Through the Pohutukawa Leaves. And you're looking through the tree at the mountain, and there's a giant lake, and it's early in the morning, 7 a.m. So the colours are absolutely popping. And sorry, what I was getting to there is I actually have kept that one because a couple of things. It's oils, and I just get so much pleasure from it. It's fast, it's a 3-hour work, it's all the time that was spent on it, it's a single layer, you can see canvas through it, it's naughty and messy because of it, and I just think that's a special place for me, and every time I look at it, I feel it, and I feel that place, the coolness of the air at 7 o'clock in the morning. I just think, I don't know, it's just everything, guys. So I never actually listed that one for sale. That's one of the ones I keep, because I really, really like it. But you can't always do that, especially not with commissions and things, because obviously commissions have a buyer, and that makes it really hard, guys. Hardest thing about commissions probably is you have to say goodbye to them, but you also need to instill so much love into them, and it's kind of like a fast and furious relationship with someone who has to go. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that, because you have to develop love and care for them very, very deeply, only to have it leave once it's complete. And that's an interesting premise to have. In some ways, does it make the relationship or the romance more fiery? Could do. There we go. Makes you happy. It's gorgeous. It's exactly what I want. Just like that. That feels perfect. It's buttery. It's buttery in all the right ways. So just to thicken that paint up a wee bit, I added some completely natural gum arabic into it, and it makes it flow in a very buttery, fluid way, which is just, love it. Have you ever traveled to any Latin American countries? Have I ever traveled to any Latin American countries? I've been to, let me just do a list here. I've been to Mexico twice. Furthest of Mexico. I wish. Had been to Chile, but I've never been to Chile. Heard so much about it. Never been. And I hope one day I do get to go. Take my daughter, little Cooper. Here we go. Perfect. Through there. This paint, we're supposed to be testing it out here, but guys, it flows absolutely perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Which is great to see, because I was hoping it was going to. And then we're going to put it through some strength tests on some smaller pieces to try and figure out how it will actually go. With things like NOx and water and all the rest of it. But at the moment, God, it's just an absolutely beautiful paint. Bit of turquoise blue is the next step. I think we can even use, let's get a bit naughty here. I'm going to use a bit of bright aqua green instead. Hello! Who's that there? Marin? Missed the name. Marin? And then there's also, who else is there? Do you paint for events? Do I paint for events? Look, I do, but I'm all the way in New Zealand. So a lot of the events we do are sometimes via online. And the most recent one we did, we were at the TikTok Awards, and it was very brief, but we did some little bit of stuff on stage there. And then It's kind of fun in a quite relaxed environment where everyone gets a chance to just, I guess, be themselves and unwind and not feel too much tension. So a lot of the time, it can become quite stressful. You can feel like you're on the spot, like you're having to present yourself or share your feelings, and sometimes not everyone's ready for that. Authentic painting is feelings, and so you can't put someone on the spot to express that, otherwise you can not get the best out of them. It's a fine line. Makes you happy. And then I'm just going to be naughty here. That same colour I just put in the sky there, just going to let it cast across the lawn a little bit, just a little bit. Not going to overdo it, but just let it pout out through this way. There we go. It's going to sneak. Makes you happy. What else is it? It's just only some. Look at these birds. Can't be that bad, yeah. Makes you happy. Yeah, now we're talking to it. These rocks have a little bit of noise to them. Gonna add that in. Just like that. Beautiful. It's a little bit. Every rock gets a little bit of turquoise. Good place to be. There we go. A bit more on this one. Beautiful. And then this one here. Noise. Beautiful. Alright, time for a bit of a shake up. We're going to go in there with magenta. Funny actually, guys. I went on Twitter, X, right? And I talked to Gronk, the AI robot on that platform. And I said to it, Gronk, make fun of me or roast me or something. And it said, all your paintings use way too much magenta, but you never seem to take a hint. It had me laughing. I thought that's so funny. So rough, but so funny. It's like, how does it know that? Very funny of it to call me out on it. Very, very funny. All right, let's get a bit more in there. Just around these edges. Beautiful. Sneak a bit through there. Nice. Do you want to overdo it? I mean, we could do it. I mean, it makes you happy. Can't be that bad, yeah. It makes you happy. One song stuck in the head. Tell you what, let's just move you. Do I agree with Gronk? Honestly, yeah. I think it's a really, really interesting comment. I do overuse magenta. And sometimes I've even gone as far as to wearing magenta glasses, like pink glasses, so I see more pink in the environment around me. So then I feel less inclined to add it onto the work. But at the end of the day, each their own as well. We're all going to have our biases that we actually will hone in on more. And for me, I just like seeing magenta in the environment around me. It's nothing too intense. It's more of a purple or a royal purple, but some people see blues and greens and yellows, and I see a lot of magenta. It's just such a gorgeous colour too, right? It's got it all going on. With a slow hand, I need a lover with an easy touch. Da 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 da. I need love with a slow hand. I still don't fully know what that means. What does it mean when you need a lover with a slow hand? And hello from Huntley D, welcome on in. I had a flat tyre about 10 months ago. That made me and Shelby have to pull into Huntley. And we stayed in a hotel for a night, met a really nice guy at the tyre replacement place, I forget what it was called, the next morning, who drove us back to our accommodation, got our tyre sorted that morning, and looked after us even well and beyond the call of duty. We were incredibly lucky that day, guys. So, got nothing but amazing things to say and remember the people of Huntley by. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate. Shelby was actually pregnant at the time, so Colin was his name. Absolute legend, looked after us better than we could ever imagine. We were incredibly lucky. Thank you, Colin. Alright, next colour. We're going to get some Naples yellow and slap it around here. Thanks, Ness. No, there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be, but it would be unfortunate because we are out here in bare feet, which allows the if you believe in grounding, great way to do it. I'm more of a, I just like the feeling of grass on my toes. I wear socks and shoes all day. Sometimes it's nice to just be able to pull them off and enjoy the feeling of some earth beneath your feet. Nothing pseudo-scientific, nothing scientific about it, just it feels good and it feels right. If it feels good and it feels right, that's something worth pursuing, right? I think we can all agree with that. Need a lover with a slow hand. Friendly touch. Do 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 do. Sneak this. There we go. Need a lover with an easy touch. Kind of fun painting at this time too, because everything changes colour so rapidly. And if everything's changing colour so rapidly, you keep noticing new things in the environment and bringing it on into the picture. A little bit more green. Yes. We'll do some green. Do a little bit of green. Is that water or a path or a road? It's a path made out of little stones, but I'm glad you asked. That is a good question. This is going to be a small little path, and there'll be garden here, and a field coming up here, sky, and a few little bits of plants and trees and things. Very simple picture, very simple. But it's not about the extravagant nature of a picture. It doesn't have to be a burlesque dancer or a fantastic star on Broadway or something, or a trapeze artist in the middle of a spin, the most important element of it is our spin on the subject matter. So we're in a garden, and hypothetically you'd say garden's super simple on the subject matter front, and it is. So can we find something in this, something simple, something subtle, and something undoubtedly special that can make this worthy of existing or worthy of creating happiness for someone else? And I reckon the answer is yes. I reckon we can do that. I need a lover with a slow hand. Excuse me, guys, while I put that in there. I need a lover with an easy touch. There we go, gorgeous. So with this stone. Da do 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 do. La da dee da do do. Yeah, nice, just like that. Let's smooth this up into the sky a bit more, just like that. Get this green. Into that background a bit more. This tree up here in the very back, it's got a whole bunch of yellow in it, which is going to make it pretty wild once we get around to that. This is exactly what we need right now. Look at that, mix that up. Next colour. In this hour of the evening, just a little bit of red. Just as that sun starts to turn everything to that kind of like a corally colour in the darkness of it. But at the tail end of it, just a touch point, a few little red marks, just here and there in the environment. Small amounts. Yeah, right to the edge there. It's going to come down through here as well. Gorgeous. Again, there's no pattern here, guys. We're not trying to develop an underlying layer before we move into the next layer. We're not trying to do the light colours before we do the dark colours. No, none of that stuff. We're simply looking for the next colour. What we believe the next step to take this painting to the next stage is going to be. And we do that over and over again. Smaller and smaller amounts. And see if we can't hone in on something quite special. This is a very fun one. It's like a lime pepper green. Oh, congratulations, Mitch. Proud of you. And who else do we have here? Hello, Robbie. All right. Bunch of this one. Just through it like that. this is coming together exactly like we want it to. One of the other things I wanted to do with the work, and this is a bit naughty, but there's a bit of expressionism creeping in here because it's artificially rounded. You'll notice that the actual curvature here, the lawn, as you can see, kind of does have that curl to it, but I definitely exacerbated it because that's a feature I love about this little spot. Kind of feels like its own little planet. Gives that kind of vibe from, sorry to give a nerdy example here, but you might remember in Dragon Ball Z when Goku goes and trains on that guy's planet. It's a very small, round planet. That's what this feels like. Roundness doming off of the location. Kneel level with a slow hand. Kneel level with an easy touch. Do, 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 do. All right, next colour. Continue down this same side of the colour wheel here. We're going to go into a little bit of yellow, but straight on top of the green, so it won't stay perfect yellow. It'll kind of splice into it. Go a little bit mustardy, not just a little bit regular greeny. In the early layers, it's just going to add that warmth to the picture, that natural power. They get in the grass as well. Grass doesn't always have to be green. If you do grass just green, it gets boring, guys. It needs to have more of the rainbow in there. There we go. Gorgeous. Just gonna keep smearing that out like that. A near level, there it is again. With a slow hand. Want somebody easy touch. Boom, 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 boom. Da, 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 da. The whole way around here. That whole side, the whole way out. Gorgeous. Nothing here as well. A bit more creep in there. Just like that. Then, oh yes, just a bit more. Making this flax bush everything that it is. How do we feel about that? Good. Good, good, good. Now on these rocks, I think a bit more creeps in here. I think that's okay. Just like that. Beautiful. That's what I need. A little bit more sneak in here on this plant. Just a little bit to touch. Need a lover with a slow hand. Pink, welcome on in, Pink. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you. Kerry, welcome in. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. And when I painted, I'd be covered in it. How do you keep yourself so clean? This is a great question. Look, there's a couple of ways to paint, and you can make a mess around you. There is nothing wrong with that. I try and keep my crazy, let's call it my crazy, on the surface of the canvas and try and keep the area around me as tidy as I can, so I can actually, what would you say, focus fire, keep it within the box there, and kind of by allowing myself to explore control with where the paint lands, it allows me to keep that expression in chaos here, because I won't seek control in the image itself. But like, what works for one person may not work for another. So That's just my little methodology. Take it and run with it if you want it. It's yours. Right, next colour off the rank is going to be Venetian Red. It looks like a regular red. It's more of a, how do you describe it? It's kind of more of an orangey colour. And if you go more into the orangey zone, imagine like a browny orange, not like the intensive poppy kind you'd normally get. And we're going to play around with this because this is kind of like an earthy tone, so it can belong in a lot of spots. And if we've gone too far with yellow, it's always easier to come on back with Venetian Red to just help that palette chill itself down just a little bit. Let's have some fun sneaking around these rocks. Nice. Through here. Nice. Just like that. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll allow that to sneak. There we go. All the way up this tree. All the way to the top. Nice. And over. We're going next with this. There's some shadows cast by this plant. They're not too dark though. Just enough to pick up with the brush, but not enough to over-address. Okay. And these trees I've notified up here, I'm going to bring them up a little bit higher and let them stand out with a bit of this Venetian. There we go. Gorgeous. Lifting that line up a wee bit, which is fantastic. And let's get some of this through here. Absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to bring in just a bit more. That's what I need. Alright team, as fun as this has been, as much as I'd love to stay with you, that sun has dipped down a bit low for my eyes to fully appreciate how we're working here. So I'm going to pause there, but we're going to come back to this one because I like where the colour's going. It's a bit wild and fun, and I think where we're going to really find our pocket with this work in comparison to what we actually see is we get the ability to explore a lot more colours outside the typical green of the ground and blue of the sky. We can get the yellows, the reds, the oranges, the pinks and the magentas. It'll unlock a whole world of colour that maybe reality has, but maybe toned down a little bit. That's where we'll have our fun. It is a little bit cold here actually. It's a bit it's a little bit nippy, but today's been so hot that actually, regardless of the cold, it's very welcome. JD, you did, but it's good to see you in here. Guys, for everyone who joined for this little wild session, thanks for being here. I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes now, so I'm going to charge off inside. But for every one of you who tapped the screen and got us to 15,000 likes, you're an absolute legend. And wherever you are in this big old crazy world, sending you love, and I hope you have a great day or a great night. Cheers, guys. All the love. And also, Jay, thanks for being in here and keeping the chat clean. We appreciate you being here. Cheers, guys. Bye now.